Hello everyone and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Breaking Politics, live from the Press Gallery in Parliament House. Our Wednesday regulars on the live stream are in the studio with us. Joshua Frydenberg, Liberal MP for Kooyong in Melbourne. Nice to see you back in, Josh.
Thanks,
and Joel Fitzgibbon, the Labor MP and the Hunter, is in as well. Nice to have you back. Joel, got to start with you. How surreal was the elephant in the room in Federal Caucus yesterday that you could go through a whole meeting and not discuss the issue of leadership?
I just want to first say, Tim, it's good to be moving to Josh's left. Change seats today.
You'd be more comfortable there, wouldn't you?
And glad you're wearing a blue tie too, Joel.
Well, I'm not sure I know what that question means, Tim. If you're asking me about the fact that leadership wasn't discussed in the caucus,
I am.
I would simply say, well, that's to be expected because leadership is no longer an issue. It's all behind us.
It is an issue, though, isn't it, in the sense that, according to at least some in the press, more than half the Labor caucus now would back a Kevin Rudd return to the leadership. If anyone knows whether that's true, you do, is it?
Well, you made the point, at least some in the press. It's not even all of the press, apparently.
Yeah, I'm not even owning it. But
So, I don't know who's informing the press, but what I'm saying is that we dealt with that issue a few months ago and it's now behind us.
So is everyone else here who is discussing the possibility that the Prime Minister might have some approaching her to say, you've got to move on for the better of the Labor Party and its goals, is that all a nonsense?
Well, I watch these things pretty closely, Tim, as you can imagine, and I have no knowledge of anyone approaching the Prime Minister.
Would it be a good thing if they did?
I have no knowledge of anyone approaching her. I don't expect anyone to approach her. We dealt with these matters a few months ago, and I think it's time to move on.
Final question then before I move to Josh Frydenberg. Is there any chance this side of next Thursday night that the Prime Minister might be approached in this regard? Any chance?
I don't believe so.
That's not absolutely not, Tim. It's a nonsense.
Well, I can't act for every individual, 102 of them in the caucus. I can't say with absolute certainty that not one individual is going to go and express a view to the Prime Minister, but I don't believe it's likely that anyone of any real serious capacity is going to be going along to the Prime Minister to make any such submission.
And obviously you're saying no active counting, but that suggestion of a growing level of support or a majority...
Well, Tim, I didn't say anything about active counting. I didn't...
No, I'm saying you didn't. What I'm suggesting is that that suggestion that there is now that much more support behind Kevin Rudd or backing for him is a nonsense.
Well, I haven't even suggested that there isn't any active counting. I haven't seen any talk of any counting at all. We've dealt with this matter a few months ago, and as far as I'm concerned, it's now behind us.
Josh Frydenberg, are we at a stage where the opposition ought to move and the independents ought to back a motion of no confidence in the government? And if not, might we get there in the next week?
I think you're talking about the hypothetical situation were the Labor Party to change leaders, and that would be an open question. But I mean, I don't know what Joel, Joel is saying here, because both John Murphy and Darren Cheeseman, two members of the Labor caucus, have said publicly that they want the Prime Minister to go. So, I mean, I don't know about anyone that Joel knows who's not going privately to see the Prime Minister. Two of the members of the caucus have come and said to the TV cameras, we want the Prime Minister to go. Then on the front pages of the paper today is leaked polling done by the union movement, which is saying very graphically that the Prime Minister is in deep, deep trouble and many of her caucus members would lose their seats. So we can't just say, it's clearly there is numbers counting going on. Kevin Rudd is running around like the celebrity apprentice that he is, wanting the top job, and it's only a question of time, I believe, before he will make his move.
Josh didn't answer the question. Tony Abbott made it clear that he had a plan to move a no-confidence motion in the government, regardless of who was leading the Labor Party. He was talking about the current leadership and what's happened to the no-confidence motion, Josh. That was the question.
Well, your members are showing no confidence in the fact that
your leaders raised expectations. He promised a no-confidence motion, yet we haven't seen what's happening.
Let's just see how this plays out. I mean, the point is you're creating so much damage for your own side. I mean, Trish Crossan, a senator yesterday, Tim, coming out and bagging her Prime Minister by saying that she was dudded over the pre-selection, and then Senator Cameron and also another senator, Senator Carr, coming out and backing up his comments, indicate that, there is just no unity on the other side. So we don't need to move a vote of no confidence at the moment. Your own members are showing that in your government.
We've got your own staff giving you a wave now as you leave. You might like to explain what's going on here, guys.
There must be a division that is going on. So we have 3.5 minutes to run to the chamber, Tim. So really,
and Josh is a lot younger than me, so I better go first.
You better go first. Guys, thank you for coming in. It was a bit brief, but it was good to see you again on Wednesday.
Thanks, Tim.
Off you go. And
next week could be more interesting.
Next week we'll add 5 minutes instead of
sounds like fun.
You just stay to my right there, mate.
All right, guys. Joel Fitzgibbon and Joshua Frydenberg unplugging microphones and heading off to a division on the floor of the House of Representatives. That's the way it works sometimes.